2023 was the year of consequence for AEW. I made a similar video 1 year ago on how I was hoping things would pan out this year, and surprisingly, that video is one of the few in my catalog that hasn't aged horrendously. Watching that video back now though, I find it funny how I called AEW's 2022 a roller coaster year. Because if last year was a roller coaster, then this year was a drop tower. As always, I can only speak for myself about the current state of AEW. The company had way more lessons to be learned this year than they did in a tumultuous 2022. From the highs of All In at Wembley Stadium to the lows of firing their biggest star. This year will go down as the year that AEW learned that all that glitters is not gold. If I weren't so lazy, I'd make a video documenting every single little thing that has happened this year all into one. But sorry guys, you'll just have to settle for watching my videos from this year in chronological order if you really want to see how many highs and lows there were. However, I do want to do what I did 1 year ago where I expressed what I hope to see from AEW as a new year rolls around. Last year's video was playing it very safe. This time I want to make some bold requests and see just how badly it all ages 1 year from now. I don't think there will be too much complaining in this video for those of you who care about that kind of thing. I never thought I'd go from the guy who praises everything AEW does to the guy who apparently complains about everything AEW does. Anyway, here's my hopes for AEW in 2024. Alright, first off, I just want to bring up how in my video from 1 year ago I brought up that AEW needs to stop with their conservative booking. So for those who say I've only been complaining recently, you're wrong. Which I guess brings me to my first point. Keep having your top stars interacting on a regular basis. I really think that the second half of 2023 saw a massive improvement in regards to this common complaint amongst the AEW audience. I'll never stop ironically taking credit for that one considering my video on that topic is my most viewed video now. You're welcome again guys. Alright, but in all seriousness, I wasn't the first to talk about that topic and I certainly won't be the last. At some point when AEW started signing every major free agent, Tony Khan started protecting everyone too much to the point where it became detrimental to the product. These days though, we've seen the likes of MJF, Jay White, Hangman Page, Kenny Omega, and Samoa Joe all take losses in major singles matches against other main event level talent. Part of top stars interacting more is that someone is going to have to lose, and that's okay. If you're truly as good as you think and say you are, then one loss against another top talent won't hurt you. I'm talking to you, Miro. Look at Swerve Strickland for example, the ultimate symbol of sticking it out, believing in yourself, and claiming your spot. Prior to WrestleDream, I couldn't name you a single time that Swerve won a major singles feud. But now, he has a winning record against the former AEW World Champion and is quickly becoming one of the most over guys on the roster, with his sights set on the top prize. Why? Because he believed in himself even while taking losses. For those who are too scared to lose, throw them into feuds with the likes of Action and Andretti while the other top guys all get to interact with each other. Which I guess brings me to my next point. 2024 is said to be a major year for free agency. If dirt sheets are to be believed, which let's be honest, they really shouldn't. Regardless, the sheets are saying that many contracts from both major companies are currently set to expire in 2024. So here's what I've been wanting to say about this topic for quite some time now. If anyone doesn't want to be in AEW and their deal is up in 2024, then just let them walk. Part of the 2019 AEW culture that made the product so vibrant and different was that people chose to be there. Wrestlers wanted to be there. The likes of Kenny Omega, Cody Rhodes, Jon Moxley, and Chris Jericho all made the choice to go to AEW. After 2019, AEW started signing wrestlers who were fired by WWE on a much more frequent basis. A lot of these guys being NXT Black and Gold loyalists, or in other words, Triple H loyalists. I'm not talking about guys like Adam Cole or Kyle O'Reilly who left by choice. I'm talking about those who were fired by WWE and so in their mind, they quote-unquote settled for AEW. Clearly, some of these wrestlers see AEW as beneath them, which is why when Triple H took over creative control within WWE, they all ran to Tony Khan trying to get out of their contracts. The truly messed up part is that these wrestlers did this while Tony Khan's mom was in the hospital. Tony is a better man than me because those guys would have been fired on the spot if I were in his place. You really think the grass is greener on the other side? Go find out that in Triple H's WWE, you'd still be a mid-carder and not the world champion that you think you are. Even if they're not let go in 2024, Tony Khan should focus on guys who actually want to be there like Will Ospreay, Swerve Strickland, Jay White, and Roosh. Which reminds me, the Continental Classic is my favorite thing that AEW has done in quite a while. I hope that it becomes an annual thing and that he continues to put main event level talent in this tournament. Just the Owen and the C2 and you're set. Even if AEW lets all the people who would rather be in WWE go, they'd still have an insane roster to work with. And believe me, a lot of people think that just because WWE is hot, no free agent will ever willingly jump ship again. Just remember that anything is possible in pro wrestling. If I had to make a bold prediction, at least one WWE main eventer will choose to jump ship to AEW in 2024. Probably the last major point that I want AEW to address is for them to remember who they are. Yes, you've had a very bumpy last 2 years, to put it lightly, but there's no reason why you can't have a consistent year in 2024. That's all I'm really asking for at this point, consistency. Too often this year it felt like the AEW I loved was finally back, only to be disappointed the following week with weak inconsistencies. People act like I'm asking too much of a company who has already proven they can do it. In my opinion, AEW still has the best main event scene in the world with the likes of MJF, Moxley, Omega, Ospreay, etc. People in their primes are still choosing to be there, so just be AEW. Stop overloading shows with sports entertainment type booking. I'm not saying there can't be any at all. If anything, Christian Cage and Adam Copeland are proving that sports entertainment definitely has a place in AEW. But put a stop to the type of over-the-top nonsense booking that we've been getting from MJF since his face turn. Keep giving us cool things like the Continental Classic that we won't get anywhere else from an American promotion. There were recent rumors that AEW was supposedly moving to a more New Japan style product, which I would absolutely love. People who don't know New Japan will think that means all matches and no stories. But who cares what those people say at this point? AEW needs to stop listening to WWE-pilled fans and media. These people were never going to watch anyway. Keep putting on the best damn in-ring product that you can. I don't really think it's fair to expect AEW to get back to 2021 levels in 2024. What I do expect for the first time since 2021 though is consistency. I expect 2024 to be a rebuilding year for AEW. For those who watch sports, you know exactly what I mean. AEW is basically that one sports team that won every trophy there was to win. Then in the following years, they started losing star players, things became a bit dysfunctional, but they still showed glimmers of hope every now and then. And now they've got some very promising pieces in place to hopefully one day get back to those glory days. But like I said, 2024 won't be back to the glory days immediately. 2024 will be them rebuilding the foundation in hopes of getting back to those trophy winning days. I know a lot of people are unable to trust Tony Khan to do what he did from 2019 to 2021 again, but here's the way I see it. So long as he surrounds himself with the likes of Bryan Danielson instead of QT Marshall, then I still think AEW can do great things. One thing I must add is that Tony really needs to hand over ROH duties to someone else so he can solely focus on AEW. AEW just needs to focus on being themselves, because when they're themselves, they're different. And that's why we wanted an alternative in the first place. Because some of us will always want something different in professional wrestling.